Hey, I'm Taylor.
I'm Adrian.
And today we're doing Warcraft.
Warcraft, also news on Justice League and
Spiderman.
So welcome to the Fandom Bar.
Yeah. Make an awful shot face.
What drink is that?
That's the Alliance shot.
The Alliance Shot inspired by Warcraft, which you can find the recipe down below the description. So, news. Justice League. New Justice League logo released by Warner Brothers.
It's just a star.
Well, I mean that's the official, branding for the film.
Yeah, so is Captain America's.
They're well into it. They're
Thief!
well into filming Justice League over in London. For
It's a
2017
111-day shoot.
Yeah,
I think they're on like day 45 or something
I don't know
like that.
what day, but
Well, you don't read, do you?
Directed by Zack Snyder again.
Snyder.
The latest news is a bit of details of the plot. Just a basic summary where Batman gets the team together to.
Except Superman. Superman's dead.
Super's still dead, and supposedly he might return halfway or the end. Snyder didn't say like when.
This is my big beef with that one movie, alright?
What?
Like, we saw Wonder Woman could fly in the last one, in Batman vs.
We don't know.
Superman.
She sort of like leaped. We don't know if she was flying.
Right. Anyway, well, she's stronger than the average bear, right? And you got, what's her name? Lois Lane. Is it Amy Adams?
Yeah, Amy Adams.
Yeah, Amy Adams, because I always get her and Isla Fisher mixed up, like the rest of the world does. Why didn't Wonder Woman just chuck him into the sun?
Well, she probably
Amy Adams knows that, Lois Lane knows that he gets his power from the sun, as seen in the last one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Done.
So,
Plot hole.
Well, this plot,
Mr. Snyder, if you need someone to read over your script.
Bats gets the team together, and they're on the hunt for 3 mother boxes. Now, mother boxes are apocalyptic technology. They're about a box.
Infinity Stones.
Yeah, it's a DC version of the Infinity Stones. But these mother boxes are from Apocalypse, and the new gods, they can open doorways and to another galaxy, or they can create technology, or pretty much anything.
That was the one in the short clip that we saw of Cyborg, yeah? In the last one?
In the sequence when Cyborg's being made, he's made by...
With his dad or something.
Yeah, the mother box. And in the deleted scene...
Vision.
In the deleted scenes for Batman vs Superman, you'll check it out on YouTube. There's
or buy the DVD.
Yeah, the new DVD, the
Blu-ray, the director's cut.
Yeah, the ultimate cut, Batman vs Superman, the ultimate cut should be out this month.
Makes it like...
It's almost like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And the deleted scene shows Justice League's kind of primary villain, Steppenwolf, showing 3 mother boxes to Lex Luthor. So, but Steppenwolf is like the right-hand man of the big baddie, Darkseid of the DC universe, and you can kind of saw as you can see the Omega symbol, Batman's apocalyptic dream,
Vision.
You saw
weird thing.
Burnt into the ground the Omega symbols. That's Darkseid symbol. So Steppenwolf, he's apparently the main villain who's searching for these mother boxes on Earth, and so Bats gets the team together to try and find these mother boxes. So apparently the Amazonians got one, the Atlanteans got another one.
So the Asgardians have one.
And also news on the costuming. Like Bats is gonna have a kind of an armor towards the end of the film, like a new design of an armor. Also the Flash's costuming.
Has he got the helmet?
Who?
The Flash. Flash had the helmet in
there was a report that it's got like 70 pieces for his costume. Now,
that would be a pain in the ass.
But apparently they put it on like for 5 minutes. But in the story, like he's made his own makeshift costume, where he's stolen parts from underneath the space shuttle and cobbled together, this tech for this armor, like to prevent heat. And it's like,
Never
And then-
mind you've got your best friend billionaire Bruce Wayne.
Well, that's
who
the thing. And
probably,
then
like,
Bruce
shell out
builds
some
him
money.
a new suit, a new armor suit. But then now I'm thinking, why does the Flash need armor suit? Are they being inspired by Injustice: Gods Among Us, where they had all the armor?
Does it need it to travel through time?
It's like what's the armor? This is the Flash, you know. Anyway, also Batman's going to sport some new vehicles. The Flying Fox and the Nightcrawler, which is like kind of the new.
He's going to ride a little boy.
Like a tank, kind of a tank vehicle. And also with Batman, Ben Affleck is confirmed to direct a solo Batman movie. Next piece of news.
All right. So
Spider-Man
Homecoming. We have it's in production right now. It's being shot, and we've got
already set pics.
set pics
Yes.
have just been leaked out. So we've got Tom Holland and Zendaya, who I'm surprised to see Zendaya in this film. Like, one, I'm so glad that the teenagers actually look like teenagers. But for those of you who don't know Zendaya, she has had her start on like Disney Channel and that. Had her own show with Bella Thorne Thompson, did Shake It Up and all that. She's a dancer, like she's proper like athletic and stuff, and you know, she's meant to be, I think, the love interest for this Spider-Man, but you know, no confirms. We don't even know what her character name is yet. Like, you know, for all you know, this could be the new Gwen Stacy. Robert Downey Jr. is confirmed and back in for Tony Stark, obviously, and the aunt.
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, as hot Aunt May. And so we've had 3 new confirmed adults in the film, actors. 2 villains and 1 we're not sure of yet. So there's Hannibal Buress, who is and I'm pretty sure I might have said his last name wrong. Sorry. But we don't know. He just got confirmed, I think, today.
Yeah, or yesterday.
Yeah, very recently, and no one's really too sure on what his role is. And then we've got Logan Marshall Green. So if you guys are thinking, hey, I've seen that guy before, he was the scientist in Prometheus. And of course, Michael Keaton is coming. And are you saying he's confirmed as Vulture?
No, not confirmed. Just rumors that he's Vulture.
I hope it's not Vulture.
Why?
Because it was just such a lame.
Yeah, but you gotta
lame
remember, you know, this is Marvel. They're not gonna let you down. I'm sure they'll think of a pretty cool way to.
Yeah, unless they pull Mandarin again.
No.
They learned
their mistake.
They learned their lesson. Warcraft. Now, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I saw it. I used to play Warcraft, and when I say Warcraft, I mean the 90s Warcraft. Obviously, like when I was older in the 2000s. Because that's all my dad would play, and I couldn't afford a $42 a month subscription. But hey, Blizzard, get on it. But I did play a little bit of World of Warcraft when I was like in high school or whatever. That was the big thing when I was in high school. But I went around and cut sheep down for a living. Like, I didn't do much of the quests in that because I didn't know how it worked. There needs to be like a Warcraft for girls because I had no idea. But it was fun. Like, the graphics in that were fun. But, you know, I went into this movie kind of... and it was a good thing, I guess, that I didn't know the World of Warcraft series and that, because there's like plot lines to those ones.
So you watched it as
I watched it as
an everyday person who
an
knows
informed
nothing.
everyday person.
Right.
So this Warcraft is, I think, loosely based on the Warcraft Orcs and Humans. But having said that, the aim of that game was a very strategic game. Build your clan up or build your horde up, and, you know, explore the areas around you, mine for gold, and build up your army to take on the humans or take on the orcs to defend your keep, you know, that kind of thing. And it was a good game. I mean, I really liked it. But this one, it's $160 million budget movie, and it has shattered expectations. Not domestically, though.
Domestically, it's not,
so in the
not
US.
faring well, but in China, it killed it. Like, It made 200 million in or something in China.
So it's made $339 million outside of the US as of a couple of days ago.
Is that in total, or is that just overseas?
Overseas, outside of the US. 200 million of that is from China alone. To put it in the easiest terms, of its total earnings worldwide, domestic makes up 10%. And international makes up 90%, which is very different from previous game to movie ratings, which is the last two successful films that this one's beat out has been
Angry Birds
and Prince of Persia, but Prince of Persia was like the big money winning one. So in all fairness, this is the most successful
game to movie
of all time so far, and so it's gonna get an easy second.
Since it's doing well, it's still early days internationally. Then the US will probably can go on with a number 2.
Oh yeah, they've made their money back, and they don't have to advertise because they know they've got a worldwide market in that. But the director has expressed that he wants to do a second one. So Duncan Jones, who is the son of David Bowie.
Yeah. Miss you, David.
Is in charge of all of this, and I was like so impressed, because the one thing I thought about when I was watching the trailers is that this is so, I didn't want it to be fake. Do you know when you watch something and it's just got that, like, everything's CGI'd, everything's...
Well, everything is CGI.
Gross. But, like, that gross kind of CGI where everything's fake.
Right, so the effects in these are what, more...
Well, when you watch something and you know that the actors are going around, like, green boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
This one isn't. They built the sets.
They did?
They did. A couple of the actors in that were like, you close the doors of the set and you're in a forest.
Wow.
So they did a lot of the techniques that James Cameron used for Avatar and that to help with the tracking and whatnot when they were filming, but a lot of it is practical.
Oh, that's great.
All the orcs are motion captured. My only complaint is that they tried to make it too Lord of the Ringsy. They put in so many different kind of subplots, but it doesn't work really, because you kind of don't care about the extra characters, because it's hard enough to kind of follow along with your main people, because you've got to remember the main people from the orc side and the main people from the human side, and they've got the complicated names. On the orc side, we have our main orc, whose name is Duratan, and he is the chieftain of his not the horde, because the horde is the whole orc, but like kind of like of his clan, so his people. And so basically he has come from the orc world, which is dead, so it's dying, like everything, all the life has been sucked out of it by Gul'dan, who is kind of like this like mega wizard. I'm trying to do this. I don't have the proper names, mage and all of that, because I'm trying to encourage normal people to go.
Yes, normal people, go watch it.
Because it is actually quite good. Like, you go in, like, I was never like, when's this over? How long has this got? I was genuinely excited to see how it was. You
don't think that people will be too like Lord of the Rings out into like, oh, another fantasy movie, like...
No, I think once you get the very general gist of it, which is the orcs have lost their world, they want to invade the human world to make their own land. That's the simplest plot broken down, and the two species are fighting. That's basically it, and it's just watching the main characters go through their things. So Duratan, his wife is pregnant and has their son. Gul'dan is like pretty much the head of the horde.
Yeah.
And he uses a magic called the Fel. The Fel is kind of a dark magic, and it requires life to make it work. So what they're doing is, even though they're invading the human lands, they want to capture the humans so that Gul'dan can use the Fel to make the orcs stronger. So a lot of the people were worried when this first came out because some of the orcs were quite skin toned. So if you noticed Duratan before, he was quite not human skin tone, but not green.
Right.
Like you see Gul'dan's quite green, and that's from the Fel. So when you get infected with the Fel, you become bigger, you become stronger, you're more evil, and you're just gonna fuck shit up. So that's basically, he wants to harvest as many people as he can, as many lives as he can, to keep open this gateway, which is called...
Spoilers, people. Should have warned you, spoilers.
Just assume now. To open the gate so that the rest of the horde can come in. So he only had enough magic to bring his toughest warriors in first, which is still like a couple of thousand or whatever. And then to keep the gate open and that, he needed more of the Fel, so he needed to take more life. And Duratan was realizing, hey, Gul'dan is the reason why we don't have life anymore, or the reason that the life is being sucked out of everything. If he doesn't stop, this world will die too, and then where will we go?
Yeah.
So the human side, we have Khadgar, who is he's the comic relief. He's the funniest. He's a mage. I'm gonna offend some major World of Warcraft fan, but
We'd like to apologise for any Warcraft fans. We do not mean to offend you.
So basically, Khadgar is a mage. He was a mage. He left his post. He left his study, which is quite frowned upon. He's a fugitive and stuff. But he comes across some of the humans that the orcs had actually killed. So if they put up a fight, they take some and they kill the rest. And through his magic, he found the Fel in the humans. And so he gets all flustered, and he gets really. He's like, something's wrong. This isn't meant to be here. So he looks through the dead body and he's trying to find out what it is, but unfortunately, because he is a fugitive and because he's a mage, he's not really trusted.
Right.
So that brings us to our main guy is Anduin, and he is
very dwarfish.
well, he's the brother-in-law to the king, and he's like the commander. He's in charge. He's lost his wife, and he has a son who is also a warrior, and this is the kind of thing that kind of detracted from the actual story. Is you see during the movie his son dies by one of the orcs and stuff in the moment where Anduin was trying to decide whether to trust them or not, and but you didn't care enough for the son for him to die, because he'd only been in the movie about maybe 20 seconds of whole in before, so you didn't get that emotional connection that you might have if if it had been in the second movie or something like that. I felt like this one was a little bit rushed.
They crammed a lot of things.
They crammed a lot of things so that the next one could be more epic type thing.
That's a problem with a lot of these.
Like they want to hook you in with as many type of,
when they adapt like books or comic books or like games, they try to, because all these properties have got such a huge backstory of everything. They want to cram as much into one thing.
They needed to get a way for him to have that kind of devastation so that he can be like orcs, which comes to the next part of the human clan, which is King Lane. So King Lane is, he's the king. He's the king of all the kind of light creatures, so your high elves and your dwarves and your humans and all of that. And through his reign, he's achieved peace.
Right.
There's peace in the human lands. There's no war. Everyone's fine. Everyone's dandy, and he's kept that up. And he's the brother-in-law to our commander.
Yeah.
And finally, for the major arc of the humans, we have the Guardian, who's also Medivh.
The Guardian.
So he's charged with making sure that there is peace in the
He looks like a shifty dude.
He is a shifty dude.
Shifty.
He is a very shifty dude.
Face.
I'll get to that in a second. So after after the mage goes and he finds the fell, and then he goes to the commander, and then the commander goes to the king, and the king's like, all right, we need Medivh. We need our guardian. Medivh.
No, not Muad'Dib.
No, not Muad'Dib.
Muad'Dib.
A lot of people won't get that reference.
Hey, if you're watching this, then you will.
So Medivh is like the ultimate, like he's like the grand wizard. If they say wizard, I don't know if they say wizard.
They say wizard?
Oh,
it's another
he's the
name.
guardian.
Right.
He's the guardian. So he's in charge of looking after...
wizard.
This is Garona, and she is a half human, half orc. Well, she's alluded that she's half human. You know, you don't really know. But she's half human.
She like the outcast?
Yeah, she is.
She's like, you are
But
an
she's
abomination.
yeah, but she's green because Gul'dan brought her in and put the fell inside of her and stuff like that. But so she's pretty much a slave. She's pretty much a slave.
Right.
Commander and that they've gone out. They've sought the guidance of the Guardian. Khadgar's looking around and he sees something a bit shady and he's like, well, what's that? And it leads into a book. And before he takes the book out and before he can kind of go on, he meets the Guardian. And the Guardian's like, Mage, who is this guy? And just like flings him up against the wall and stuff. And you find out that for some reason the Khadgar is the next Guardian after Medivh, because even Medivh's like, I'll teach the boy eventually. And so they go out through the woods and that to find out like what's going on, where it is, where whatever it is that's attacking their land is coming from. And they find the orcs, and the orcs kill them. And Durotan sees the magic that the humans have.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, these guys can stop Gul'dan.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't take on Gul'dan himself, like, because they weren't powerful enough, but they thought, oh, if they've got magic in that as well, that they can take him on. I won't spoil the whole movie, there's some things, but eventually you start to find out that things are becoming a little bit sus, because the gate needs to be opened 2 ways. And through a lot of personal discovery and hard work, they find out that Medivh has been infected by the Fel for quite some time.
Right.
And when a human gets infected by the Fel, it drains them of their power until eventually they become infected. And Medivh looks straight up like nasty at first. Like he looks like Igor in 2004, the Van Helsing.
Yes.
He looks like a mix of that and the bloated water zombie in Herschel's farm in The Well. But thin. Like, just strangly hair.
Yeah.
It's nasty. And he keeps using his power, and then he turns into a demon. And that demon is fucking hot.
Really?
Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just so intense. And you looked at that guy and you go, that shit's evil, man! But it was kick-ass. And then, Khadgar defeats him with the help of Anduin, and they defeat him, and they fly to the battle. Khadgar stays. Khadgar starts to learn the next couple of steps that he has to do and stuff. And Anduin comes to the battle only to find out that King Lane has been killed.
Oh, no.
But it turns out, you watch it, and Garona... They were being trapped. Like, everything was working. They were getting the human hostages out. But the way that they were doing that had stopped suddenly. So he had to find a way for them to be stopped, but to kind of have, like, a sense behind it. So the only way that they could do it, Garona, because she's a half-orc, the orc who killed the king, because he was the leader, would have the most respect. It's a tradition of the orcs and that, because the orcs are very, even though they're like, evil or whatever, they've got their traditions that they stick by.
Yeah.
So the 2 leaders go into battle and that to fight for the thing, but he tells Garona to stab him, so she stabs him in the neck, like she doesn't want to do it, but the orcs then accept her and take her in, and Gul'dan says, all right, you are an orc, and you will be listened to and stuff. And so, but then Anduin comes, and Anduin finds the blade, because the blade had been given to Garona by the king's wife.
Right.
So it was a very distinctive blade, so he knew that Garona had killed him. And there was another orc who was the chieftain of all the orcs at that point, who was infected by the fel and stuff, and he challenged Anduin to a fight, and Anduin was just so mad that he just finished him off in one blow, and Gul'dan was unhappy because the human lived and the other orcs weren't attacking the human.
Yeah.
But that's because in the tradition, if you win, you go, like you've fought your battle.
Yeah.
And so it was up to Garona to say, hey, look, if you want the orcs to keep fighting for you, Gul'dan, like, let the human leave. So Anduin leaves, and thinking that Garona had betrayed them. There was kind of a feelings thing there between them, but again, it was so short. The amount of time that it was spent on it was so short that you're kind of like, oh, okay. So at this point, Anduin hates the orcs. Just absolutely hates them. And at the end, at King Lan's funeral, is where the alliance is formed.
Alliance between...
No. So there's two sides of the fight. So there's the orcs, who belong to the Horde.
Yeah.
And the Horde has dark elves, zombies, like minotaurs, trolls, and all that kind of, the dark side type things. So the alliance are your high elves, your dwarves, your humans. There's two more, and I don't...
Forming the alliance to do what?
To defeat the Horde.
But
it's not an alliance, it's the alliance.
But
that's the side.
The
that's
trailer
called.
kind of portrays the main character. Who's the main character name again?
Anduin,
and then the orc main character, can I trust you? The way they construct the trailer, they make it out do these guys form a friendship, a partnership to fight a bigger evil?
Yeah, and the bigger evil they find out is Gul'dan and Medivh.
Right, and
so they do form like a semi-alliance type thing. There was some complications where someone on Durotan's side betrayed him. And so it made the orcs seem untrustworthy,
right.
So they had to do it themselves, even though Durotan went back to the orc camp, and even though he was said as a traitor in that, he still had to fight his way to kind of delay everything a bit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to spoil it, but now, thanks to you, Jesus.
I did warn you, spoilers.
But yeah, so... It's too much for me to describe in one, and it's so confusing if you haven't watched it. So
right.
I've literally just tried to keep it as simple as I could, but without a doubt, definitely go and see it.
Yeah, how many orcs do you give it?
I think about four and a half.
Four and a half orcs. Okay, cool.
But just based on alone the fact that it has been the best game to movie that I have seen ever. And everything looked good. The costumes were good. Everyone wore their own costumes. They made the costumes, and that was sweet. And the acting and that behind it was believable. I felt like it has the potential to be like I'm watching like another Lord of the Rings film. Not Lord of the Rings, because it's nothing like that.
Type of
that kind of like I'm
fantasy.
watching a great fantasy
right.
film. So definitely, even if you don't know what it is, go out and see it. It's a little bit bloody and things like that. Like, would I take a 7-year-old? No. Would I take a 14-year-old? Yeah. There's nothing that they probably haven't seen. There's no swearing in that, obviously, because it's fantasies where those swear words don't exist. But yeah, no, it was good.
Cool. Warcraft. Our next review will be...
Independence Day Resurgence!
IDR, yeah. So it's been 20 years.
Excited. You know what? I love that tagline. I reckon that's one of the best taglines I've seen on a movie.
That's pretty good.
It's underneath Lost Boys. We had 20 years to prepare. So did they.
Yeah,
that's the best! Yeah. That's the best! You're gonna send Jeff Goldblum to fuck him up again! I just love Jeff Goldblum. Oh, there's the one name that I won't get right. I'm sorry. Is it Goldblum or Goldblum?
Goldblum.
It's so good. And the Hemsworths, Australians, kicking ass.
Yeah.
Liam? Yeah. I'll take any three. I'll take the cousin that was on My Kitchen Rules because he looked like a Hemsworth. But yeah. No, I'm so excited. We're seeing Independence Day.
I'll be reviewing Independence Day ID4 in the Fandom Flashback.
I might crash that one because that's like it's one of the best movies. I'm so excited to see it in a movie theater.
Cool.
What was that?
I don't know.
I'm so excited.
Catch you next week.
See ya.
Bye.